Portray yourself very much as a defender of freedom of speech. However, the two issues are unrelated, aren't they?
My goodness, I've heard about the BBC being biased and pushing wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and now in Syria, but this is completely absurd. I have not been charged with an offence in Sweden. Your particular framing of this issue completely ignores the fact that there has been an unprecedented, according to Australian diplomats, unprecedented investigation into WikiLeaks and me, a whole-of-government investigation in the United States, which at the beginning of this year had run in the FBI portion alone to 42,135 pages. That investigation and its abuses against our organisation and extrajudicial financial
Can I just
blockade,
interrupt you here?
the attacks on our other people, is the reason that the Ecuadorian government formally found me to be a political refugee and gave me political asylum in the United Kingdom after the United Kingdom failed to protect me.
But you are in the Ecuadorian embassy because you face, all right, I'm sorry, we'll say sexual allegations in Sweden, and Britain wants to extradite you to Sweden, and yet you are conflating that with the WikiLeaks case and whether you are indeed a champion of freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That's a fair point I'm putting to you.
No, the BBC, as usual, trying to defend establishment interests in Britain, and that Britain suffered an enormous loss of pride over this issue when it surrounded this embassy with police and threatened to violate the Vienna Convention just a few weeks before the killing of an ambassador in Libya, faced enormous condemnation around the world. Not a single state supported Britain's position in this. In fact, the OAS, UNISOR, ALBA, throughout Latin America condemned what has happened here. And your audience knows these facts full well.
Yeah, but all right, but you still didn't answer my question,
and that is why
actually.
you cannot act in a reasonable way.
Yeah, but
furthermore, as you know, this interview is about the surveillance state and the promotion of this book, a very important book that I and 3 other people have written about the surveillance state, the terrible things that are occurring, including right here in Britain with the Communications Data Act that intends to place mass interception devices in every single internet service provider domestically in this country.
We'll talk about
before Parliament
We'll talk about that, but I should just say that you didn't address my question about the fact that you are conflating two, and I would just finish on the Swedish bit in this way and ask you to go to Sweden to face whatever you have to face there, face the music there. Why not just do that?
As you know well, the Ecuadorian government has asked the Swedish government for assurances that I will not be extradited onto the United States. The Swedish government has broken every normal standard procedure that is used here in the EU when you want to question someone of coming to
Well, I have to tell you that the Swedish government's position
refused to provide an explanation to the British courts as to why. The whole Extradition Act that this is based upon, the EAW, is being thrown out by David Cameron as a result of its injustice.
You're giving very obfuscatory answers.
Has been condemned in 2 academic articles
Julian
by the
Assange,
Cambridge Law Journal.
We don't have a huge amount of time.
Cambridge International Law Journal has condemned.
Can I just ask you, because I'm giving you very simple questions. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And there is not even an opportunity to present a single skerrick of evidence.
Can I just correct something, though? The Swedish government's position, Carl Bildt, the foreign minister, says it is not for the Swedish government to decide whether you are extradited, if you ever end up in Sweden, to the United States. That's a matter for the Swedish courts, and the judiciary in Sweden is independent of the government. I just have to put that on the record, though. That's what Carl Bildt has said.
The government has a veto, a political veto, just like the political veto that was used by the British government in relationship by Theresa May in relationship to the extradition of Gary McKinnon to the United States. There is a political veto in Sweden, just like there is here. It is able to be exercised in Sweden. The Swedish government refuses to behave in a way that is at all normal, rational or reasonable. And that is why I have been granted political asylum after 2 months of investigation and consideration by the Foreign Ministry.
We will make America great again.